We are continuing working through our series on certification in Python. And we left off last episode talking about operators. In particular, we were looking at some of the bitwise operators. We had looked at basically the not, which is flipping the bits, and we did a bitwise and. This time, we're going to go ahead and let's do a bitwise or. Basically say take the same ones, and so or, whereas and is that ampersand, or is just a pipe. So if we do it like this, and we'll do this. Now and says that when we're comparing these bits, basically, that and says if in a single position, it's whatever value it is. So if it's, this is 0 and 0 is 0. 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 0 and 0 is 1. 1 and 1 is 1. 0 and 0 is 0. 1 and 0 is 0. The or is going to be an or there. So 0 or 0, it's 0. 0, 0. We go all the way down here to here. 1 or 1 is going to be 1. 0 or 0 is 0. And 1 or 0 is 1. So this one's going to give us this number. And we won't worry about the reversed order. Now this one's going to be, let's see, so this one, let's get down to the end. So we get our zeros, we get 1 or 0, so that's a 1. And then the rest, because they're all ors, then we're going to get this. So if we flip back over here, somewhere in here, all right, let's just do this, Python 3, operators, bitwise. And so we're going to see down here the bitwise or. So 4, see, we turn into 101, and here we turn into that one. And then, which is actually, which is a 31. I'm sorry, that's the bitwise version of it. Now the XOR is similar to OR, and this one uses the I don't know what you call it, the hat, basically. And so we use the hat. Then it is only if when you're comparing the two that they are an or. So you can't have both of them the same. The only time you're going to go one to come out true is if one is one value and the other is the other. So for doing 4 and 5, when we compare those, the zeros are always going to be 0. 1 and if you've got a 1 and a 1, then that's going to be a 0. If you've got a 0 and a 0, that's going to be 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you have a 1 or a 0, then it actually is an XOR, so that's going to be the only one that you have. This other one here, so you have 1 or 0, so you get it there. And then with the zeros, so that one's going to be something like this. And you can see that. So here, it just ends up being that 1 at the end. And then when you do the 17 and the 15, notice that the one place where, because there's a 1 finishing in both, so that's going to be a 0. And so you get all of those where they were alternatings and then a 0. So that's XOR. And this is, again, you're probably going to have a question or two, but it's important to remember that the and or should be easy enough to remember because we're going to talk about logicals as well. So you have a ampersand is your and, pipe is your or, and the hat is your XOR, which is probably going to be the toughest thing to remember. Now shifting, these next two we're going to take, going to be a little different. So what a shift does is, if it's a bitwise left shift, then what we're going to do is it's going to be, let's do it this way. The first is your bits, and the second one is how far you're going to shift it. So if I do a 4 shift, left shift 2, it's going to take that 1 and shift it over 2. So I'm going to end up getting, let's see. I probably should do this. So that instead of that 1 being in the 3rd position, that 1 is now going to be in the 5th position. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I need one more. And so you can see actually. So let's do this. If we take, for example, let's take a 5, and we're going to shift them 1. 2 and 3, let's say in 4. And so let's see how this guy looks. And first, let's just do a 5. Don't care about you. Okay, so 5. Let's just do a 5. And we'll watch it sort of walk along here. And so now the 17. It's going to be a little different, but that's a good one as well. Go away. See if I can do that. Let's see. So if I'm going to do 17 by 2. I don't care. There, let's do that. Let's get rid of that. Maybe that'll leave me alone. So this one is going to shift each of those to, so it'll be instead of 0001, it's going to move that. So here's where we start. So we start here, so it's going to turn both of them too. So this one here goes to this spot, and this one here goes to this spot. And then it's just going to be zeros. And so let's do same thing with the 17. Except for I do want to play with it a little bit. So I want to show you what happens when you get a little crazy. So if we go 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And we're going to see something similar when we go right shift, but for right now, we're going to do the more complicated. We're going to do spend more time here doing this shift. So if you look at the left shift, so 4 starts off. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. So, yeah, so 4 becomes this, but now this other one here, this is a 5. So notice that the 5, we start left shifting it and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's just going to keep piling on the zeros. Now let's take 17 out to 30. Oh, let's do 60. Let's do 62. Let's see what that does. That'll give me what I want, I think. Well, and what I'm looking at is if okay, come on. All right, it's just going to keep on shifting it. So it's not going to wrap, at least at this point, because our numbers are so big. So it's just going to keep, we can see here, when we go all the way out, it just keeps going all the way out. But you see here, again, where you're going to start pushing stuff along. And so if you did a, let's pick a bigger number. So let's do like a, I don't know, a 257. then again, you're just going to see it start marching to the left. So let's take the same thing and go right. And let's see. So if we take him instead to the right, then it's going to be this. Now let's watch what happens when we take these larger numbers and start shifting them. And so this one, let's watch what happens here. So our 4, we had that. So this is our 5. Let's see. So 5 starts out 101. And then it starts right shifting, and it's just going to shift those completely off. And you're basically going to have the same thing here in the 257. Oops, do it this way so you can see it when it starts. As you're going to see that it just starts shifting, and it just shifts right off the number. So if you start shifting out, it basically just drops off. Now you may, in some cases, you may have seen stuff where where a shift would actually wrap back around. You're not going to see this in these shifts, so you're just basically moving those things, those bits back and forth, either to the left or to the right. So now let's jump into our Booleans. And here we're going to have and, or, and not. And these are all going to be based off of Boolean values, which are going to be true or false. So we could do true and true. True. So let's just do each of these. So true and false. And then false and false. So if I take that, let's go take a look at that one. And so see here, so true and true. And this we sort of saw before, and you hopefully have run into this before. And means that we have to have both of those values. It's going to be if both of those values are the same, it's going to be the value. Otherwise, it's going to be false. So true and true gives you true. But if it's true and it's false, well, then it must be false. But if it's false and false, then it must be false. So with an and, the only way you get a true is if all of the values are true. And so this would even work if I get a longer string. So if I do true and false, so the trues outnumber the falses, but I'm still going to get false, because once I get a false, it's false. Basically, if there's anything in the stream that is false, it's going to return false. Or if everything is, it's going to return false. So, or, let's do, the same thing here, and let's switch it to ors. And this is going to be is sort of the opposite of it. Well, actually, it's not sort of. It is the opposite of it, because this is going to be true as soon as you find a true. Where the where the and, it's false as soon as you find a false. Ors is true as soon as you find a true. So if we flip back over here, and so we'll see here with the or, so true or true, we found a true right away, so it's true. True or false, we found a true right away, that's true. True or false, we found the true right away, that's true. False or false is false. And if we wanted to just change the order, then it's not going to matter. So if we do false or true, it's still going to be true. So false or true, as soon as we find a true, it comes back true. And then the last one is the not. And so let's actually, so it reverses a value. So true or true, so if I do true, or let's just do, first, let's do not true. And then let's do false or not true, or not true. And then let's do not true or false. And then false or not false. Let's do it that way. Let's see, that's going to be, oh, there we go. Not true, false, or not true, or not true. Okay, so let's see what this one does for us. So when we get to the not, so not true, it's going to be false. False or not true, which is false, or not true, which is false. It's false, so that's false or false. And then not true or false, let's see, not true or false. So not true is false, and you do or false. And then false or not false is true, because it's false or not false, which is true. False or true is true. Now you can also do this, let's see, let's pick one like this. So we can also put some parentheses here. So what you're going to see, so true or true is true. Not's going to reverse it to false. So you're going to have false or false. And so it's going to end up being false. So there you go, false or not, true or true. So you can either do it directly to one value, or you can do it to, you can use parentheses to do it to a whole series. So I could even do like this one. So this would be true or false is true, but not that, it's going to be false. And so you're still going to see that there. There we go. So those are our bitwise and our Boolean operators. We're going to get more complex as we go further into this, but that's going to be our initial start. There are some more complicated ones, but we will sort of jump into those also a little further on. I do want to do, before we wrap this one up, let me do string real quick. So there's two string operators. And I'm just going to do these in with the numerics. And so we have the plus string operator, and we have the star string operator. So plus is going to be pretty simple. So if I do the string A plus B, then it's going to concatenate. And let's do the same thing. And do it as a star and see what happens. And so this is the multiply because it has to be a non-int. So the second one has to be an integer. But when we see the plus, so plus comes in, a plus b just gives us ab. But what we get here is this is actually a multiplier. So if I do that, and this is going to be a number. So if I'm going to do 5, then what we're going to see is it's going to do multiplier. So I get 5a's. So if I wanted to do a plus b star 5, star 3, then I get the 3 b's, or I can do a plus b, and again, so now if I do a plus b and then stars, notice it's going to do a, b, a, b, a, b. So there you go. So we threw in our string operators as well. I think that will be a good stopping point for this time around. And then we will step into the next couple of pieces in our next episode. As always, it's going to be out there in GitHub. You can play around with it there. Ask any questions, info@developreneur.com. And until next time, go out there and have yourself a great day and a great week, because we will talk to you next time.